Actually, no, I can just go to 7, keep my audio settings the same, but just mute it. There we go. Cool. Cool. And then, of course, we won't get started until, you know, Andy's done.
Doing well.
Dog shit. Cleaning up the dog shit, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, he wasn't just saying that as a joke. Just took a dookie in the hallway.
Like, I can see outside the dog's taking a shit.
No, our dog took a shit in the hallway.
Oh.
At least you didn't have the walking shits again. If she had the walking shits, then we'd really be in trouble.
Oh no. It's like a little tiny bit.
It's like it accidentally came out.
Ew.
Does this plug not work, Andy?
Just unplug the one with the light, I guess. Actually, I keep my computer plugged in, but I don't think that would here.
I just want to have a timer. Actually, you know what? No, don't worry about it. 15%.
Now do it. I don't think this thing works.
What is that for?
I have no idea.
What the hell? Why is it even plugged in then?
Because it was there. Does that work? Yeah, that worked.
Yeah, now it was whatever that was.
Where's it?
Okay. Okay, so your one mission tonight, Blast, that if something spooky happens in the game, keep the reactions to a minimum. Where we can like earn a gun. Like, there's this one that we get a pistol. Higher in an onslaught match. Yeah, we'll do this one. We'll get a cool pistol blueprint. We'll do this one. We'll get a sniper blueprint.
Stream.
Yeah, the stream's already started. Okay. So if anything, my game volume is muted. Andy, if you want to do me a solid to just mute unless you want to add in your 2 cents, that would be much appreciated. I'll get my timer set up so I kind of know how long we are going. My stopwatch. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello everybody and welcome back, all of you fine looking people, every single one of you, even you right there, Phil. Hey Phil in Muskegon, how are ya? You're looking real good there. How are ya? I bet you're doing real good. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Unoriginal Discussions podcast. We are down to Kevin this time, but that doesn't mean we are going to stop nonetheless, because ladies and gentlemen, for this episode, I'm your host, Danny, and today I am joined by B to the L to the Ast, my man Blast. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, well, you asking all these questions, you little silly goose, you. I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm alright.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. And bringing up the rear, we actually have a new member in today. Not exactly here and present for the podcast, but Andy is listening in on the call because he's, you know, kind of like a good background knowledge for football. You know, throw in his 2 cents when needed. So he'll be joining in every now and then. And so we got a little Call of Duty Cold War zombies in the background. But that is not the primary point of today's session. Today we're going to be sitting down talking about the NFL Playoffs 2021. Bum 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 bum. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba.
I can't see it, but I'm nodding my head.
Yeah, because it's the theme song. Get it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So
do you want to start with what we're doing?
Well, you know, what I want to start with is how depressed I am that the Lions have not made it to the playoffs again.
Hey, maybe next year.
No, it's
Quarterback.
it is not going to be good. I'm already having like kind of no hopes for next year because the schedule we got is the AFC North, the AFC North and the NFC West. So we are not going to have a good time next year.
AFC North has which teams in them?
That is Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Browns, and Bengals.
Oh, yes.
And the NFC West is the Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, and 49ers.
Oh, well, good luck.
So I'm already having kind of no thoughts. The Bills?
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo. They're in New York.
I think that's AFC East.
Oh, you're talking about the division, Andy.
No, I just wanted to know where, actually.
Yeah, Buffalo, New York.
And the division, I guess. What division?
AFC East.
I'm assuming AFC East.
With the New York Jets, the Patriots, and the Dolphins. But
It's weird how...
we are not here to talk about the Bills just yet. I think they will come and well, actually, no, scratch that thought, Andy. It is a very good thing you brought that up first, because coming up first, we are going to just jump right on into the playoffs, wasting no time at all. The first game of the NFL playoffs 2021, the Indianapolis Colts going up against the Buffalo Bills.
The Bills are going to win.
Bills are going to...
I saw how Josh Allen played quite a few games this year, and I think he looks really good. And I just don't think Phillip Rivers has what it takes to fucking be their leader, you know?
Because I was going to say, you just sort of jumped right on the Bills without any hesitation. Like, you didn't even blink, and you just, like, Bills instantly. It's a damn.
Jonathan Taylor, good running back. I think he's a good running back, but he's also a rookie. And rookie's first playoffs, don't know how that's gonna go.
That's very true. Kind of a little unproven just yet.
Phillip Rivers, mediocre quarterback, in my opinion, at least. You know, but I think I have strong thought that the Bills are gonna have what it takes to win that playoff game.
I think Phillip Rivers was on a 2-year deal with Indianapolis. So even still, if he doesn't get anything done this year, he'll still have another shot next year. But with that in mind, this is still a very, very young team. Like, if Jonathan Taylor gets another year under his belt and Phillip Rivers doesn't decay that much in production, and if sort of Indianapolis sort of stays status quo, if anything, they pad their secondary a little bit, I think they are a very scary team next year. Like, if they get a good tight end in the draft and a good receiver, maybe, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with, I feel.
The Colts have T.Y. Hilton, right?
Oh, yeah. They do have T.Y., but if I'm being 100% perfectly honest with you, he hasn't really had such a stellar year as most people thought he was going to.
He's kind of decaying as a receiver too, right?
He's been productive, but it's not certainly been what people were expecting, to say the least.
It's not Deshaun Hopkins on the Cardinals.
Deshaun Hopkins, or DeAndre, if you actually know football.
DeAndre, I'm sorry, I don't pay attention to those teams.
old Deshaun Hopkins and DeAndre Watson.
I'll be honest, I was thinking about Deshaun Watson.
I could tell because of that picture I showed you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so you know now, I'll never be able to think of Deshaun Watson the same. Every single time I think of him, I'll think of that picture.
Is that?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Deshaun X Crash Bandicoot.
Ooh. But actually talking about it, the Bills seem to be like a force to be reckoned with this year.
Oh yeah.
Kind of, I think the only real losses they had, or at least their last one, was to Arizona, and that was just, you know, the lucky Hail Mary bomb that they had.
Luck of the draw.
Bills have been very, very well rounded, and I just think, like, the Colts are good. Don't get me wrong. The Colts definitely deserve to be there. I don't know if they deserve to be there over a team like Miami, because I was really hot on Miami this year. But,
Miami make the playoffs, or did they get bopped out?
I think they got bopped out because of the Colts. Yeah. So with all that in mind, I think I'm inclined to agree with you there and going with Buffalo. I think Buffalo will just be too much to handle for Indianapolis.
I'm trying to look at trying not to curse as much. I'm trying to look at the NFL app so I can remind myself who's on players for the teams. But it wasn't loading, and I was getting frustrated.
It happens.
But I don't remember the name of their
the
running
who?
back. The Bills running back.
What's his name? Isn't it Singletary?
Yeah, Devin Singletary. I kept thinking Devon Terrell, and I'm like, that's not who that is.
that's not who that is, you silly goose.
But
because it was Frank Gore. I remember Frank Gore. He was on there like a year or two ago, I believe.
Frank Gore.
What the walking corpse himself.
The grandpa running back that's still actually pretty good at the game.
It's so funny we're calling him grandpa and like old man and a dead body, but the dude's only like 35 years old.
Hasn't he been in the game since like as long as like Drew Brees and Tom Brady? 2001.
He's not as long as Brady. I think he's been in the league since more like 04, 05 ish.
Okay.
But it's still a long ass time. Yeah.
15 or so years in the game.
Mm-hmm. He's been in there so long enough that if he goes for like another year or two, he has the chance to play in the NFL alongside his own son.
That's cool.
I doubt that's going to happen. As cool as it is, I don't think it's going to happen, though.
Imagine his son doesn't get drafted.
That would be so depressing.
That would be like, Dad, I'm so happy to play with you, and then on draft day, it's like, oh,
okay.
I see.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm not gonna be able to play with my dad.
My dad's a living legend or anything.
When was the last time the Bills did this good?
1990s.
Like, are you talking made the playoffs good, or were actually like a good team good?
Just like a good team, like they're the number one in the AFC.
No, well, number one AFC East, yes, not number one in AFC, because that still goes to Patrick Mahomes and friends. The last time they won the AFC East, yeah, Bless was right, like, excuse me, late 90s, 2000s. So it's been a while. Because ever since, Belichick took over at the Patriots, it's just sort of been their division to lose, essentially. Now that Tom's did his whole thing, it's a little different now. So not to stay too long onto one game, but I think we're all sort of in agreement that Buffalo's going to knock off Indianapolis.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll take Buffalo over Indy. Moving on to the next game on Saturday, which is the Los Angeles Rams going up against the Seattle Seahawks, which is probably going to be a very good game.
Yeah.
This is not a game I can just say one team, because the Seahawks are good. The Rams
I don't know. I personally feel that Seattle was hot in the beginning of the season, but then they sort of just really petered out right near the end of it, because that defense just is like falling apart at the seams at this point.
I haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't watched the Seattle game.
That's fair. Neither have I. Seattle's not like must-watch football for me.
Yeah.
As shitty as that sounds, but that's just how I feel, you know.
I care about the brands, and that's what I.
Yes, you do, and that's gonna be the last game we talk about too.
So excited.
But we're on this one now. We still got to talk about Rams and Seahawks because I'm still probably gonna lean towards the Rams on this one. I'm not like a heavy lean either, not as much as with it was in Buffalo and Indianapolis. Like this one, I'm kind of like
This
maybe
is an edge kind of situation.
Yeah, I'm kind of like 60, like a 60-40 Rams on this one, whereas the other one I was more like 75-25.
Yeah, like Jared Goff is still the quarterback, right, for the Rams?
Yes.
From what I've seen of Jared Goff, he hasn't been the hottest, dog in the pound, you know?
No, he never has been. I personally feel that when they made their Super Bowl run against the Patriots and stuff, I personally feel that was all Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
I don't think Goff had anything to do with that in the slightest.
Cooper Kupp is a really good receiver.
Very underrated. I will give him that much. This is a very, very damn underrated receiver right there.
This is not really part of the football thing, but I just want to be honest. White receivers are really underrated in football.
Yeah, anyone not named Julian Edelman or Danny Amendola, you know.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. There's one other guy on their
the Rams.
But I can't get those. Yeah.
You got me there.
Hang on. You keep busting real quick.
Okay. Actually, that doesn't pause it for you. They're still moving.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still moving.
Well, that's alright.
We're playing Thing. We'll be fine.
Anyways, I think it'll be one of those close games. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be
yeah, no blowout either way.
Yeah.
Or at least I certainly hope not, you know.
Who knows? It could be like that, what was it, that one fucking Super Bowl with the Patriots where they only scored like 14 points.
Oh, yeah, the Patriots and the Rams. What a surprise.
Oh, yeah. It could literally just be like that, which was very depressing.
Curious as to where specifically they're playing, though. I think they're at Seattle because Seattle won the division, if I'm not mistaken. So that's I don't know. Well, if there were fans there, like if it wasn't Corona, I'd give the advantage to Seattle because playing in Seattle sucks. It is really just awful, especially for like opposing teams.
Is it because it's cold?
It's cold, it's wet, and it's loud.
Okay.
But the fact that there's going to be no fans there, I think that definitely takes away home field advantage. Like home field advantage is probably not going to matter at all in any of these games.
Yeah. Unless someone's like technician is like, break up the sound and just deafens the area.
You guys want to listen to some tunes?
Yeah. Just pushes it hard. Just hits that crowd noise button and just slams it to the next century.
So I see. It's hard to actually kind of do a predictions video without having like a computer in front of you able to look up, you know, stats and past games and stuff because I'm too busy playing the video games. But either way, I'm still pretty confident in my predictions of saying that it's going to be Rams in a close one over Seattle.
Yeah. Because Rams defense is good, right? Like they have Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I think their front seven are probably going to be having their way with, you know, Seattle's offensive line. Yeah. Because I think I want to say the Rams won their last game against the Seahawks, I believe. I believe it was pretty recent, but I'm still not sure.
I don't. My phone is lagging. I can't look it
Oh,
up.
good. We can't pause it either, so we can't even check.
We're having a great time.
I was gonna say, if anyone's hearing this and is losing your minds in the background, it's like, oh, they're so wrong. Oh yeah, Andy's here. Yes, my hero.
So, the Rams Seahawks game
Yes.
was actually really recent. The Seahawks beat the Rams by 10 points at 9-20.
Oof.
Okay, so I was wrong. See, it's a good thing we got a fact checker here. It's good. Now we're more professional now.
So.
Wow,
it could be.
Interesting. So now I could go either way with that.
I still feel like the Seahawks.
Field goals.
Rams didn't even score a touchdown. Interesting.
Let's go kicker hours.
Andy, you have now upgraded your position to fact checker of the night. You are going to be here, our man in the chair, basically. If you catch that Spider-Man reference, you're the guy in the chair.
Honestly, no. Even if we're still on this, I want to lead towards the Rams because like the Seahawks they got so much hype at the start of the season, but then they just like dove down into a pit.
And to be fair, Seahawks are getting to the point where I personally feel like they've been in every single playoffs since like 2011, basically. I'm kind of tired of seeing them there.
But I mean, it's still a good team.
Yeah.
I would like if they win the first round playoffs, it'd be cool to see them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess. I guess my bias is kind of showing then. I don't know.
It's alright, we all got a bias.
I've personally just never really been a fan of Seattle. I don't know.
You've never been a fan of Pete Carroll?
Not just...
Old lesbian man.
The old lesbian man. Well, he's never going to be on the podcast now.
I'm sorry, every time I look at him, I'm like, is that a woman? I can't.
That old lesbian?
Is that an old lesbian? Gray hair. I think the Seahawks are gonna win. That's my.
I'll stick with the Rams.
I'm gonna stick with the Rams too.
2-1.
You want War Machine?
Seahawks most recent game.
I got a cluster strike.
Against the 49ers. They barely held on, but they still won 26-23.
Ooh, and the 49ers are very depleted. Ooh, okay. I'll still stick with the Rams.
Weird thing about this game, it was a fourth quarter game. Seattle scored 20, and then San Francisco scored 14.
All in the fourth quarter. Wow.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm still gonna stick with Seattle. Rams.
The Seattle Rams.
So me and Andy both for the Rams. Blast on Seattle?
Yep.
All right. Moving on to, I feel, what is going to be one of the more easier games to predict out of the schedule.
Buccaneers.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers up against the Washington No-Namers.
Yeah, it
I
is.
want Washington to win.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I would love to see Washington win in this situation. Like, I think that would be hilarious to have Washington
Without a name,
and they
win the Super Bowl.
they make a playoff run with no name. To have Kansas City and Washington in the Super Bowl, that'd be amazing.
Now, I'm probably wrong about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something I saw. I think Tampa lost Mike Evans.
Well, Andy, fact checker, can you look up Tampa Bay Mike Evans, please?
Yeah, hold on. I was just looking at the Washington No-Namers.
The Washington Chase Youngs.
He's from Ohio.
He is. I hate him because he played at Ohio State.
The other Ohio one got fucking cut.
The other
Who am I
Ohioan,
looking at?
Mike Evans. Mike
injury.
Evans.
Seems Mike Evans is good.
He's their #1 receiver in all of this.
Oh, it will be a game time decision.
Really? Oh, leaving it up that much to chance.
Wide receiver Mike Evans at practice will be a game time decision versus Washington.
Ooh. So that's
Well,
like a.
Officially questionable.
That's a. What? Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. Kind of deal.
But maybe with that, I personally think the smarter thing to do would be to sit him, because Washington, I don't really remember Washington having that deep of a secondary.
That's true. The only person I know of on Washington is Chase Young. That's the only defensive player I know.
Like I'm not saying that to be mean either.
No, they don't have Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy's on the Broncos, right?
No, they have the other rhyming name. They have Scary Terry. They have Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
that's nothing defensively, you know.
I was thinking offense. Just the players that I know on offense.
Well, no, yeah, he's a receiver, but that still is not helping their case on defense, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Bucks are gonna win it unless Tom Brady chokes.
He forgets what down it is again.
Yeah, or like
getting a little old.
Does a fucking Ben Roethlisberger and yoinks all of his passes within the first like half.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I felt that one.
Anyways, that's later. That's
that's still not happening just yet. I kind of want Tampa Bay to go far. You know, I'm not saying like I want to see him in the Super Bowl type of deal, but I wouldn't mind if they made a run. You know.
Yeah, like cause Tampa Bay has been bottom of the barrel
for since like 2010 or sorry, like 2004. It feels like.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they went to like the Super Bowl, but I don't want to see Tom Brady go to another Super Bowl.
With me personally, with like New England making the Super Bowl so consistently, I never had a problem with Tom being there. It was always just like the New England team in general. I don't mind specific players. I do mind whole teams though.
Yeah.
Like that's why I think that's where some of my Seattle dislikes started to stem from, is how they made like 2 or 3 appearances over the course of, 2 or 3 years.
They made all their appearances for multiple years, basically.
Right. So it's just like I just want to see different. I want to see different colors in the stands when the Super Bowl happens. Tired of seeing the same colors. My brain's dumb like that. It's like, ooh, pretty colors.
I want to see a pink jersey. That's what I want.
I just think with that game, Tampa Bay is going to be way too much to handle for anything Washington can try to do to stop them. It'll just be way too much because, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only times Washington faces a good offense, they tend to get kind of pooped on, right?
Yeah, it's not very good.
Well, I did say that I say that when they've played Pittsburgh, and look what happened there.
I think that was a 1 in a million shot, with Pittsburgh being in the weird state that they were in, and I think it was just luck. I don't know.
So you think that was more so like Pittsburgh playing down to their competition than Washington playing up, honestly?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because like Washington, 7-9.
I
don't know how really they made the playoffs. I think they got lucky again.
Because they won the NFC East.
Yeah, oh yeah, their division sucks.
Their division is awful.
It was the New York Giants behind them.
Yeah, it was either going to be
6-10.
it was either going to be the Giants or Washington.
No. Giants or the Cowboys.
Oh, the Cowboys were still in contention?
Well, they were 6-10, and then
Oh, that makes
Washington was
sense, I
only
guess.
7-9.
Oh my god, it could have been either Danny Dimes or Andy Dalton.
I'd go for
Jesus.
Danny Dimes over Andy Dalton.
Oh,
on
Danny
fucking
Dimes.
Cowboys. Andy Dalton was good on the Bengals.
Was he good on the Bengals? Was he?
I watched a video. Okay, I watched
I
a
want
video.
the
Yeah.
video, okay.
I watched a video.
Yeah.
And apparently he led the Bengals to the playoffs in his first like 3 or 4 years on the Bengals.
Well,
And that faded off because it's an Ohio team. But
I guess that's something Joe Burrow can't say he did yet.
because he fucking tore his ACL and
Tore his leg clean off the bone. All that meat muscle gone. That meat muscle. Yeah.
I don't. When Andy Dalton was playing on the Cowboys,
It didn't look right.
it didn't look right. I saw games where they had only scored 3 points, and I don't think it was meant to be. I don't think it's a good. I don't think he's a good quarterback for the Cowboys. Basically.
But, no one really is a good quarterback for the Cowboys besides Dak, I'd argue. And if he's not going to get paid the money he wants by Jerry, he's not going to be in that organization anymore.
Good old Jerry Jones.
Old Jerry Jones. Old Jerry.
Old Jerry.
Oh.
Good old Jerry.
I'm looking at the standings right now, and the Packers.
Packers are first place in the AFC. NFC.
Yeah. Because I don't know what it's called when they get like a free pass to the.
They get a bye.
Yeah, a bye. That's what it's called.
Yep. The Packers and the Chiefs
Them
do.
and the Chiefs. Yeah.
Yep.
I want to see the Packers win this year.
I
Well,
don't.
Yeah. As someone in the NFC North, no, I don't actually.
Well, as someone in the AFC North, that's
The
what
AFC North,
teams
yeah.
are in. I never follow
Teams
divisions.
outside your.
I'm
Yeah.
terrible at that.
I understand that too. That makes
I
sense.
rarely ever know what division the Browns are in.
You want to know your division? I have it up there now. It's
So
the
AFC North.
Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals,
yeah,
Browns,
so Bengals,
Steelers,
Browns.
and the other guy.
The other
yeah.
guy.
The other guy that I don't
The
like.
other one.
Like
The
your
other one
teams
that
are
has a
falling
fucking
down.
running back as a goddamn quarterback. Throws 5 passes in a game, but rushes for 500.
We'll get to that one next. Don't worry.
I'm sorry, you bring it up and I get mad.
That is still one of my favorite stories about you. I'll tell that one in a minute. I know we keep spending time on it, but okay, hold on. I'm focusing on the game. Sorry. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, no, I think there's nothing much to really add about that one. We've kind of covered most of it. I kind of am really sort of pulling for Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a really good one to see, and I think we're all in agreement on that one as well. Again,
Yeah.
Tampa Bay over Washington.
Yeah.
All right, so now we'll get to the meaty parts of the talk of a little bit more teams that we know a little bit more about. Moving on to the next game, we have the Tennessee Titans going up against the Baltimore Ravens. And you know what, Blast? Do you want me to go first, or do you want to take the floor first? The choice is yours.
You can go first. I'll save my rage-induced bias for after.
So, with all of this going on, and how the game sort of turned out last year with the Titans and the Ravens, how everyone just thought the Ravens were going to absolutely steamroll the Titans. And then, of course, Tennessee going into Baltimore and then turning around and leaving with a win. No one expected it, so now this year, everyone's going to expect the same thing to happen, except I think Baltimore is now going to Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong in saying that, but I do believe that's the case. I think kind of the story going around this year is everyone's expecting Lamar to go into Tennessee and sort of, you know, open a can of whoop ass on her thing. And I'm not saying I want to see that happen. It's just I don't have as much faith in the Titans as like everyone else does. You know? Nothing they really did this year kind of screamed a good, like an elite team to me, like an elite contender team. Granted, Derrick Henry did get over 2,000 yards, which is an amazing feat for a running back, especially with how young he is. That is such an awesome stat line to have. But that was it, though. You didn't see Tennessee blowing out people. You didn't see Tennessee consistently, like, putting teams away early and putting them away often. A lot of the Tennessee games were really close, and their losses, some of them were pretty bad. Granted, I know some of them were like the Pittsburgh one where everything was all right to the bitter end. But just Tennessee didn't do much for me at all this year. So with that in mind, I'm probably going to give it to Baltimore in a close one, because they'll take whatever they learned from last year, they're going to take it and apply it to this game, hopefully, and sort of clean up their mistakes than actually making the run this year that everyone expected them to make last year. That's my thoughts on what this game is going to be like. Now, Blast, my thoughts, they're wrapped up. Please take control.
I hate Lamar Jackson.
Just opens right into it.
He might be a good guy in real life, but I fucking hate his feet. I hope they get cut off in a terrible car accident.
Oh no.
And I hope he can never run again.
Oh no.
That being said, I don't think Ryan Tannehill is that good of a quarterback.
No, that is... Thank you for bringing that up, because I don't think he deserves a nickel of what Tennessee is paying him at all.
Yeah, I don't...
fucking all.
I want Ravens to lose because I'm a Browns fan. My bias. But if I'm just talking straight stats, it's the... Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm dead. Okay. I don't think the Titans have what it takes besides, like, Derrick Henry to beat the Ravens. Because Lamar, he's got the feet of fucking Jesus, or whatever you want to call it.
That he does.
But he can also throw a ball in some bad defense areas. I'll give him that. He can throw a ball.
Class throw something in there.
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you got?
I'm looking at the Titans, and their last game against the Texans, they barely held on. They won by 3 points.
Oh yeah, that was the AFC South on the line too. If the Texans win that game, I think that would put Indianapolis in this game, and that would have sent the Titans to Buffalo. So that would have given us Baltimore, Indy, and then Tennessee, Buffalo, which I think would have been probably better games, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I don't think Tennessee has the juice this year.
Oh my god, Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry. I just saw on a highlights thing on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson has 1,000-yard rushing for this year as a quarterback. to me, that's insane. Especially for a fucking quarterback. But I don't think they're I think the Ravens are gonna win. Basically, I don't want to see the Ravens win another Super Bowl, but I feel like they're probably gonna beat the Titans.
As old Pat McAfee saying, old Patty Pete, this Lamar Jackson guy, he's a unicorn. You know, as much as you dislike the guy, he is a once-in-a-generation talent. He can throw it, he can run it, he can do whatever you want, man. Basically.
I really like Derrick Henry. I don't know why.
That's the thing. Like, I in my gut, I'm thinking Baltimore probably takes this, but in my mind, if Tennessee wins, I won't be surprised. If that makes sense, you know.
I mean, my face is in the Tennessee Titans.
So you're gonna pick Tennessee over Baltimore in this one, okay?
Just not because of the fact that they're good or bad. I just want them to win.
Ah, okay.
Just because I like them.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. Ain't a darn thing wrong with that.
I can understand just wanting the team to win. I just want the Browns to win, but I don't think it's
Well,
going
that's
to happen.
because you're a Browns homer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spoil that now. He's full-on Browns, this guy. Little brown noser.
I'm sorry. I like to put my nose in the Browns.
Ew.
But yeah, I think the Ravens are going to beat the Titans. That's my prediction.
So we got
kind of close.
this. I agree with you there. This is probably going to be one of the more closer games of the weekend. But I just don't know. I don't know. I'm just so hesitant on this one, and I couldn't tell you why.
I just looked. So the last game Tennessee played against the Ravens lost. 30-24.
But that, I think, was in the beginning of the season.
That was in November, so yeah.
Was it in November?
November 22nd.
Oh, so it was very recent. Okay. See, this is why we should have done our homework beforehand. Now we just look like assholes.
Oh,
Now we just look like dickheads trying to talk about football.
Yeah, I'll do
Hey,
some
I know.
before we go into it.
I know enough base knowledge about football. Okay.
Oh, that's cute. The Megaton's name is Spanish.
I'm not, Pat McAfee, but
Although I wish I was at times.
it'd be cool.
It would be
Cool
cool.
to have a foot like him. Pat McAfee ever gets asked for foot pics?
If not, I think we should open up with that, you know? Be like, hey, Pat, you want to come on our podcast? Can we see your feet?
Yeah, that's how we're gonna get him on. That's your feet, Pat.
I was gonna say, getting Pat McAfee on the podcast, that'd be awesome.
He's a personality and a half, and I love him.
I'm half tempted. I wonder if he's done any sort of predictions yet. I would love to listen to those.
I'm sure he has, with playoff weekend coming up.
Knowing him, he's probably done them like Monday or something, like way early in the week. How it's almost Friday tomorrow, or technically Friday today. Sorry.
Oh yeah, 12 minutes today.
Yep. It still counts. Still counts.
Still counts.
This one is probably the biggest question mark of the weekend.
It's the biggest maybe.
I would have loved to have done this with Mike to get all of his insight on all of this.
But we can't wake up early enough.
Yep, and it seems to have been that way for quite some time now.
How dare Mike work a different schedule than the rest of us?
How dare I not wake up to my alarms when I set them? Curses.
I was awake at 10 a.m., but I went back to sleep.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I had to wake up at 1. Anyways.
Oh my god, you woke up by the time I was getting ready to go to... Jesus, blast.
I'm sorry, I told you I fell asleep at 5 a.m.
Well, what'd you even do all night?
I laid in bed trying to sleep.
Just staring at the ceiling, questioning my existence.
Staring at the ceiling, trying to dream, listening to music, eating.
Nice.
Normally eating makes me tired. Didn't make me tired, apparently. Anyways. So you're kind of on the wall.
I'm really sort of wishy-washy on this one. I could be persuaded either way, but my gut is telling me Baltimore.
Yeah. I mean, they got one of the Harborough brothers.
The Super Harbario brothers.
Or Harbario. I'm not even gonna try and do the first name, 'cause I don't remember what it is.
It's John.
It's John.
Because Jim is with Michigan. Yep. Who's trying to go back into the NFL, turns out, and I kind of hope he does.
What if he goes... Oh, man, if he goes to the 49ers?
That would be awkward for them.
Like, hey, we fired you, but welcome back!
Welcome back to the organization, buddy, old pal. Missed ya.
Kyle Husick was around in that time. Not sure. Don't know.
You mean the best fullback to ever live?
The best and only fullback and
the only fullback still alive?
the only fullback that's actually used?
Basically. But the thing is, with Harbaugh, he would use him too, 100%.
Man, I wanna see Kyle Husick get like a 99-yard return.
Oh, nice. Oh, that'd be awesome. In the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, he has the ability to truck people, which is my favorite move. You can break someone's ankles, and I'll be like, wow, cool, but if you put a shoulder to someone's face, I'll be like, damn! Fucking take me to the ball game.
Ooh, you can take me any which way. You call me anytime.
Pretty much. I mean, I don't know. I always like good big hits. That was my childhood on YouTube too.
Oh yeah, just watching those big old hits on YouTube, right? I always did it right before a football game, so I'd get like hyped for it. Like, yeah, here we go, we're getting hyped now.
Here comes the boom and some black and yellow.
Black and yellow?
Yeah.
Black and yellow.
I found a bunch of compilations of big hit videos from the Steelers, and they use like
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Lil Yachty's Black and Yellow or some shit like that.
Oh, I remember the song. It just didn't make sense for a big hits compilation.
It was like Troy Polamalu videos, and I was just like, man, I love this.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. If anything, mine was it was like a Tech 9 song for me. Ooh. Did you quit killing them? I'm trying to get snowball kills.
No. I just got a snowball kill.
Yeah, it was like a Tech 9 song and a certain other rap one too. I don't remember what the other one was though. I'm having a hard time remembering.
It's okay.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. We're all stupid because we're American.
Yep, pretty much.
I think we've spent enough time trying to figure out what the hell's going on with this one, so we'll move on to the next game. And again, I think Andy said he is for Tennessee, while me and Blast are leaning Baltimore.
Yep.
Okay. And that is moving on to the next game, which is going to be airing on Nickelodeon.
Oh, yeah.
The Chicago Bears and New Orleans Saints. Yeah, they're simulcasting it on Nickelodeon.
What? Why?
Yup.
Like, if I'm gonna watch for something, it's gonna be that.
With the Bears and Saints.
Yeah, Nickelodeon.
I have a feeling the Saints are gonna win.
After the type of game that both teams played earlier this year, and how kind of one-sided it was with New Orleans, I am well, no, sorry, it wasn't exactly one-sided, because the Bears did make it a game come the end of it, but it just felt so controlled by New Orleans basically the whole game.
Yeah.
You know? And the Bears, coming from someone in the NFC North, the Bears haven't done anything to impress me at all. You know, if you're losing to the Lions near the end of the season, you know, you're in trouble.
That's not good news.
Granted, it was close with the Lions. It was another last second Stafford victory, but still, that's if you're going to be a playoff team, you shouldn't let anything like that happen.
Hold on, this means nothing to the game, but the one of the Saints game against the Vikings, it was 52-33.
Oh yeah, that was Christmas game.
Yeah, that was the Christmas game where Alvin Kamara got 200 fantasy points. Feels like.
Yeah, it was amazing. I really wish I had bet that day, but I didn't.
Oh my god, that would have been an awesome turnaround.
They only scored once.
What, the Saints?
Yeah, 33-7. But it's the Panthers, so.
Wait, when did that happen though? Like that game?
This year, about a week ago.
Oh, so the last, like, week 17 that happened.
Yeah.
Good old Teddy.
So yeah, the only reason they did that, I can guarantee you right now, is they were resting all the good players. Because they already made the playoffs, you know?
Yeah.
I think at that point, the Packers already clinched the #1 seed, too, so they really didn't need to play anyone good.
Trying to look at something.
And everyone's thinking this is probably going to be Drew Brees last year, too.
Yeah.
Because he's getting old as well.
Almost Tom Brady type age, but he looks older than Tom Brady.
He does. Well, yeah, that's because Tom Brady's got his, you know, plastic surgery wife.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got Giselle with his avocado toast.
Okay, so... Oh, yeah, and the Saints have Taysom Hill, which is a wild card.
Oh, yeah, right, because Taysom Hill, you know, the good old game changer Taysom Hill.
He's done some pretty nice trick plays, and they've actually worked out really well.
I don't think that'll be, like, game-changing, though, per se. Sure, he's there, and I guess you could call it a wild card, but I don't think you need to, like, game plan for him at all.
True. But they do have... So they have Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, good Ohio State player, and and Alvin Kamara. So I think
I want to say Michael Thomas is actually coming back into the lineup as well for the playoffs, I think, too.
It says he isn't hurt on their inactives list as of right now, so...
I know he was basically out all season.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
If he is back in the lineup, though, and they start pulling defenders away to cover him instead of, you know, like covering Kamara and other receivers, that's probably not going to make things good for Chicago.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they also have Traquan Smith, who's a good receiver. He's not Michael Thomas level, but he's still a really good receiver.
Oh, of course.
But it's a strong Saints game.
It's the Saints game to lose. And then when you look at it, where they've had this scenario happen in the past couple of times they've been to the playoffs, you know, the Minneapolis Miracle happens, and then they lose in overtime to the Vikings again, and then they lose to the Rams on the no-call pass interference. So the Saints haven't been having too much good luck in the playoffs as of late. So I think this is probably the year where they finally turn everything around.
Let's hope.
Me too, man. Me too. I like the Saints. There's nothing that the Saints have done to make me actively go out and say, you know what, I don't like this team anymore.
They're kind of like one of those top dog, underdog teams, if you know what I mean.
Oh, of course.
Like, they're a really good team, but they're still kind of flying under the radar.
So we're all kind of in agreement that the Saints are going to pick up the W over over the Bears in prime time on Nickelodeon.
I'm 100% leaning towards the Saints.
Okay. All right. Now let's get a little look-see.
Lions.
The Bears did lose to the Lions. That is for sure. So
the Saints more as well.
Now
the Bears almost beat the Saints 26-3 November 1st.
Did you just say 26-3? They almost beat them.
Yeah.
26-3.
It's a field goal game.
26 as in 26 2-6 26 ones.
Oh no!
Oh, I was gonna say here. Hold on. You're confusing me. Okay. I was a little confused there for a second.
Sorry, my brain is not good.
So yeah, that was when I know exactly the game, because that Saints went up early and the Bears were basically coming back all game, and they couldn't pull it off. So I'm gonna get you into the next one, but I'm gonna try to find if there's like a playoff predictions like website where we can enter in our picks to see if we can like get the next round of games set up as well, so we can do all of our playoff predictions in one podcast. So I'm gonna let you loose. Try to fill some time here. The Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Cleveland Browns.
My game. The game that I want the Browns to win. I know the only reason they won against the Steelers last week is because the Steelers rested most of their starters. And even then, the Browns almost came back and won. Or the Steelers almost came back and won. Sorry, but you know, I want Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has a good arm. He's got legs when he needs to use them or even wants to use them. But I don't. With his games lately. And just looking at some of the passes he's thrown, hasn't been great. I don't know how he's going to do in that sense. And you know, Kevin Stefanski, their coach, has COVID, so he won't be on the sideline, which might be a bit of a morale hit to the team. And they haven't been running. You know, they haven't been playing Chubb and Hunt as much as I feel, and some other people feel that they really should. They have one of the best running back duos in the NFL, and these past few games they haven't been playing them very much at all. Like in the Saints game, I don't think they played that much. They ran too many run plays. But the Steelers, as a Browns fan, I'm hoping, hoping Roethlisberger goes back to his grandpa days, like the games where they lost 3 or 4 in a row. I'm hoping that happens again. But, they do have backup Mason Rudolph, who is a good quarterback. Not the best, because he's young. He's been a backup his entire life, basically. But they do have him, and they have their 2 running backs. I can't remember the names. But they have their running backs who are. They can make a play if they get space. They can make a play, and they can hit. They can hit hard and make their own running slots. But I said again, I'm hoping the Browns win, but I'm gonna have to give it to the Steelers for this win. on this week's win.
I actually probably could not have said that better myself. Like, with all of the kind of stats, numbers, everything, looking at it on paper, again, this is Pittsburgh's game to lose. You know, they're at home. They have all of these stats going towards them. I know I just said home field advantage won't matter, but if you get the Steelers at Heinz Field, it's going to be hard to kind of beat them there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Browns haven't done that in quite some time now.
Yeah, they, like I said yesterday, or last, I think it was when I was talking to Kevin, the Browns' record against the Steelers all time is like 23 losses, I think, against the Steelers, and then two or three wins and one draw, which I know that one draw happened in like 2018.
So you've out of all time of the entirety of the Browns organization existence, the Browns have only beaten the Steelers like 2 or 3 times.
This is Browns' existence since the 90s.
Oh, since the 90s. Okay, I was going to say not all time. I certainly hope not.
No, not all time, but Browns'
Jesus.
existence.
All right, that's more reasonable.
Yeah, they haven't been a great team for a long time. But in 2002, the last time they made the playoffs, they also lost to the Steelers. So we're kind of hoping that history doesn't repeat itself. But
what was that, Andy?
It's just like Juju Smith. This has nothing to do with the actual players, but like just like on TikTok, all he does is dance on the field. So
yeah,
like
that's all. He just goes on the logos and just cuts a rug.
He got hit hard as fuck.
He did. Yes, he did.
Loved it.
That's why I want the Browns to win. I don't like
that's the thing. Like, I think the Steelers are going to win. Like, my brain and my gut are telling me the Steelers, but my heart really, really wants the Browns to win this. I think that's the case for a lot of America, too. Probably anywhere else that's not Pittsburgh wants the Browns to win.
Yeah, like, it's that feeling of this team has been shit for almost 20 years. And we just want them to feel good again,
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe not the case in Detroit. It's like, well, no, actually, no. We do have another bottom feeder buddy over in New York, in East Rutherford.
Oh yeah,
we got the Jets, but, and in Jacksonville too.
But Jacksonville's been kind of all right with some of their games in the past seasons. They've had a mediocre kind of seasons,
especially in 2017.
Not as terrible as Browns and Detroit, though. I think this might be Jacksonville's worst season within probably the last 5 years.
Probably a while. Yeah, it was really bad. Well, it earned them arguably one of the greatest college quarterbacks in all time coming their way. So let's see what they can do with it.
His name, but...
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh yeah,
Clemson.
Oh yeah. I don't pay attention to college football.
So
sometimes Ohio State.
In the sake of wanting to save some time and going over the rest of the games that we have made up in our minds, we will kind of move on from this, and we are sort of all in agreement in saying that we think the Steelers are going to win, but we want the Browns to win.
Yep.
The Browns get my vote of faith.
No, so Andy will say he'll sacrifice his vote and he'll put it towards the Brownies. So we got 2 for the Steelers, 1 for the Browns. So that means we will move on to the next set of games. We'll stay on the AFC side first.
I'm going to go.
You're gonna step out for the night?
Yes.
All right, Andy's gonna step out for the night. Thank you for hanging out with us on the podcast, Andy. Are there any socials you want to plug on the podcast? If anyone feels like following you anywhere, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.
Twitch.tv/Slyfright.
Ooh, twitch.tv/Slyfright. SLYFRIGHT for all of your Call of Duty gaming needs. Thanks for hanging out with us, Andy.
I'm a gamer, man. I'm a gamer.
All right, we'll catch you on the next podcast. We'll see you. Oh, and there he goes. He's gone. I didn't even get to say my goodbye to him. Oh, I'm gonna go cry now. But now that leaves the two of us. So we basically got a little half hour. We got about a half hour room here. So if we take our picks that we have, say, so out of the games, we'll say the Bills, the Steelers, and the Ravens win. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Because those are technically who our picks were.
Yeah.
So that would send Baltimore to Kansas City, and that would pit the Steelers and the Bills against each other.
Ooh.
So if that were to be the case, I don't know. This is Kansas City sitting on a bye week too. They got a week to rest up. I really just have a hard time. But the AFC is basically Kansas City's to lose now, more or less.
Yeah.
They have become the new aged Patriots with all of this, and for the next 2 or 3 years, while they still have money to pay everyone, it's going to be really hard betting against them. You know?
Yeah. Because they have Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes,
Travis Kelce,
Edwards-Helaire.
They just got Le'Veon Bell from the Jets.
They have a stacked offense.
It's going to be really hard. If anything, it will have to be just an absolute shootout. Because Kansas City's weakest part is their defense. It's just they know that their offense can hang in a shootout better than anyone else's offense. You know?
Yeah.
Because the fact they're like, how many times did they lose this season? 1 or 2?
2, yeah.
I think
like that.
One was to the They weren't both to the Raiders. No. I think one was to the Raiders, and I don't remember who the other loss was to. We just lost our fact checker. Damn it!
I'm checking right now.
There should have been one more loss. I can protect you.
Kansas City's 14-2.
14-2. So I know one was to the Raiders. I just don't know who the other loss would have been to.
The schedule lost to the Raiders.
Yep.
And a loss to the Chargers.
The Chargers.
Last game, week 17, they lost to the Chargers.
Yeah, it's because all it's similar to New Orleans. Everyone good was just sitting out. You know, they don't care about it. So if they play the good people in that, they probably go 15-1. Wow.
Ooh.
Jesus, that's pretty scary.
That's not a Patriots perfect, but that is close. That's a really good record.
That's really good. I mean, they are giving Patrick Mahomes $500 million, so I'm sure he got to play like it now.
$500 million?
Oh yeah, $500 million across 10 years though, but he's still getting $500 million.
That's insane.
It's a 10-year contract.
If he spends that shit wisely, I mean, rank it up to $1 billion regardless.
He did buy half of the Kansas City Royals, so he is starting to spend it. Owns a baseball team now.
Wow.
It's
oh, you know what? It's probably because his dad was a baseball player, and he was like,
too.
I know baseball.
And he was like one of that
multi-sport guys.
He was like Kyler, you know. He did baseball and football. And I think in the draft where he declared for the MLB draft, I want to say the Tigers drafted him. So,
oh,
so that is the closest Detroit has ever gotten to a Super Bowl so far, is drafting a Super Bowl champion, and now the richest man in sports as well.
Oh, that's true.
But I don't know. I just think Kansas City has still just way too much firepower right now. They're firing on all cylinders. It's going to be hard to keep them out of the Super Bowl.
I'll be honest, because we talked about something else, and I don't have a thing to look at. Who's the other team Kansas City's going to play against?
If our predictions are right, and the way we think it is going to happen goes down, it would be Baltimore.
That's kind of easy for me. Not just everything we just talked about, but it's Kansas City powerhouse team versus the Ravens, who they're an offensive powerhouse and a bit of a defensive powerhouse, but I don't think their offense is as good as
no, God no.
As Kansas City.
Mm-mm.
I don't think they can do that.
Not even close. And I'm not even trying to be like a dick about it either. It's just it's like SS, like triple S tier against like A minus tier, you know. But so we'll be in agreement with that one, and that means the other game would be Buffalo and Pittsburgh.
That's a hard one.
I just think, even with how badly Buffalo whooped them in Pittsburgh going back for revenge and stuff, I don't think that game is any different. I think it's a repeat of when they first played. I think Buffalo takes it again. Like, they're going to be... Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, I know the Pittsburgh's probably going to be playing pissed off and stuff and coming back looking for revenge and all that, but still, Buffalo will just be kind of too much, still way too much to handle.
Yeah, I want to say that Pittsburgh can... I feel like it's going to be a big game. I don't think it's going to be like a one-sided game.
It'll be close for a half. I think the first half it'll be very, very close, but then Buffalo's just going to run away with it.
See, that's my thing. I feel like, second halves, halftime always seems to just supercharge teams that are down.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if the Steelers are down in the second half, or they're down in the first half and they come back in the second, I feel like the Steelers are gonna play a hard ball, and I don't know. I feel like the Steelers are gonna do it. That's
okay. That's fine.
That's my idea.
I mean, if I'm being 100% honest with you, either way, who we end up picking here, still loses to Kansas City in the next round. Honestly, yeah. So, just for the sake of our own personal little competition, you'll pull for Pittsburgh and I'll go Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then either way, whoever wins off next to that sends Kansas City to the Super Bowl. And then the Kansas City Chiefs will end up representing the AFC side of the NFL. So, that settles one side of the league as we near up the hour and 15-minute mark, closing down the podcast, winding things up for the night. Sending everything over to the NFC side, we have the Saints winning, the Seahawks winning, and the Buccaneers winning. Or no, sorry, the Saints winning, the Rams winning, and the Seahawks winning. God bless it, my brain is frying. The Saints winning, the Rams winning, and the Buccaneers winning.
Okay, yeah.
That's what it was. Okay, my brain is leaking out of my ears. It's been a rough day. We're winding things down. So let's quick take care of this little fella, and we'll figure out who's going where. Now, sorry, we're getting a little wrapped up in the L video game-o, being a unprofessional morons.
I gotta distract myself if I want to talk about something. That's just
hey, it happens. It's all good. Okay, so the lowest seed would send the Buccaneers to Green Bay, and actually no, sorry, that would send the Rams to Green Bay and pit Buccaneers and the Saints together.
Buccaneers versus the Saints.
Again, that is Breeze versus Brady Part 3.
Do you know how Breeze and Brady have done before?
I believe they have split it 1-1. I think Brady's 1-1 and Breeze is 1-1.
Oh yeah, because I remember their first game. I'm pretty sure Tampa Bay lost.
It was the first. Yep, it was the first game of the season, and fucking
Brady wasn't. I guess he wasn't feeling his team yet.
wasn't, you know, it was week one. You gotta take a while to get accustomed to everything, and everyone's like, "Oh, the dynasty was all Belichick. It was all Belichick. Brady's nothing without Belichick." It's like, it's week one. Calm down. And then,
I'll be honest, I said that too.
oh my god. And you turn around and New England's not in the playoffs and Tampa Bay is. It's like, crazy. It's very shocking.
That's because New England went for a running quarterback versus pocket QB,
Which is what they needed.
Yeah.
But if that is the case, I think I'll do the easier game first. And with how just on fire and I personally think the MVP of the 2020 season, Aaron Rodgers, has been, I don't think there's any way Green Bay loses right now.
Green Bay is playing the Rams, right?
Yeah, if our predictions go the way they say they will, it would be Green Bay and the Rams.
I think Green Bay is going to win. I don't think there's any.
Like, I don't think that's even close, honestly. And this is coming from a Lions fan as well. I don't like seeing Green Bay succeed, but I do know when they're on a roll, like on a legendary run, and this is a good. Granted, it was similar to that last year, but then they ran into the buzzsaw that is San Francisco, and that is certainly not the case this year.
Yeah, San Francisco is very mediocre this year.
Not even got to worry about them in the playoffs in the slightest type of worry. Or mediocre, sorry.
Yeah.
And in the long run, no. Green Bay just is firing on all sorts of cylinders right now. Like, they're playing perfect and then some.
I don't believe in the Rams enough to even think
that
about
too.
having them win.
Granted, I do think the Seahawks and the Packers will be a better game, even though we have seen it in the playoffs, I think 100 of time now. But it'll just be the Packers game to lose, essentially, sending them to the NFC Championship game. So that does take us back to the more difficult game to predict, being the Saints and Buccaneers Part 3.
Which,
and if this game does end up being true and this game does go through, I think this is the most coin flippy game in the entire playoffs. I think this is a perfect 50-50 split.
Yeah, because it's not really a thing that you. It's not a thing you can predict. I don't think.
No.
With how good both teams are.
That's not necessarily a bad thing either.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the Saints are gonna win because I like the Saints, but that's a biased opinion.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I mean, even if I'm not being biased, you know, I think the Saints' offense is better than Tampa Bay's offense.
Ooh, that is a bold statement, though.
That is a bold statement.
That is a very bold statement.
But it's also partially a biased statement. But yeah, I don't know. I'm taking the Saints. I'm taking the Saints.
I think I will go different of you as well. I think that the Saints peter out in the playoffs again because I know I brought it up once before already, but the Saints have not had any sort of playoff success recently at all. They've made a run the year they lost to the Rams in the championship game, but other than that, they just kept getting knocked out first round, similar to Baltimore, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Saints just do good all season long. They're just killing everybody, running through them all, and as soon as they make to the playoffs, just sort of a wet fart.
Yeah. I think it's like my mom calls the Browns the heart attack kids or something like that.
Heart attack kids.
Because of how much they choke games that they're so close to winning, and
games they should win and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that the idea this year is that Breeze is gonna be like, guys, this is gonna be my last season with you. Let's make it count.
Let's please make it a good one. Come on now, I'm getting too old for this stuff, guys. Come on now.
My back hurts. I broke a rib and punctured a lung. I just want to win a Super Bowl. At least win the first round of the playoffs, please. Make it to the Super Bowl at least. I don't know. You know, it's.
I wouldn't mind that. There's nothing in my pick in saying it's the Buccaneers. I have nothing against the Saints winning. Like, I am perfectly okay with both teams winning here. I just think I'll lean towards the Bucs, honestly.
It's a little bit of a betting game, eh?
Ooh, is this the one that you want to put a little cashola on? A little betting, a little gambling, man?
No.
Well, what's a little What's a little... Actually, you know what? That'll be the perfect thing for us. I know the exact thing we can do. Instead, the next card that sells... The next card that sells, instead of going 50-50 on it, whoever wins, if the Saints win, you win the bet. If the Buccaneers win, I win. Whatever team wins, the next card that sells, the winner gets full profit on the card. No 50-50 split.
Ooh.
So instead of...
Then I'm gonna need some new cards.
I have some new ones that I'll send. Instead of, losing on your money, like your own personal money, you'll just lose out on money that you could have gained, which is, I think, a little better.
yeah. Instead of money that's like, it's my card that I'm sending out, and I'm gonna lose
exactly.
It's just, I'll either give you all of yours, or I'll take all of yours, and that's what happens.
That's the beauty of gambling, my friend. But of course, that means the first round, the wild card round, has to play out the way that we say it's going to. Because if any one of those games go a different way,
then the players are going to be different.
Yeah. Because I think, hold on, now that he's splitting, I can look at it. I think either it has to go exactly this way for the Buccaneers and the Saints to play each other.
Yeah, so we have, basically, our picks are gonna have to be right. And if
Have
they're
to
not,
be
then
perfect.
it's for nothing.
Because if the Seahawks win, and then the Buccaneers win, and the Saints win, that would send Tampa Bay to Green Bay.
Oh.
And if the Bears win, that would send the Bears to Green Bay, but that means the Buccaneers would play whoever wins the Seahawks and the Rams. So the way we predict it is the only feasible way that the Saints and the Buccaneers will play each other.
Got it.
So which kind of makes it even more exciting to watch now. I wish I was writing all of our predictions down while doing it, because I want to, follow along as the games are going on over the weekend. I think it'll be fun.
You'll have the stream.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I can go back and listen.
Yeah. Just skip through and write it down then.
So we'll say a 50-50 split. So that means the NFC Championship is going to be Green Bay, or the Saints, or the Buccaneers. Any one of those three teams. For you, it's the Green Bay or the Saints. For me, it's the Green Bay or the Buccaneers.
Yeah. But we both still want Green Bay, because Green Bay is a good-ass team.
I don't know if I want... I think my wild prediction, my one wild card prediction, I'll say that similar to the regular season, Tampa Bay goes into Lambeau, pulls off the upset, and gets sent to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, 7th time being there. That'll be my wild and crazy dark horse prediction, is the Buccaneers going to the Super Bowl. I think you can make yours the Browns if you want.
Yeah, the Browns.
There you go. There you go. Browns going all the way, baby. So
insane though.
That'll be the Browns' first appearance in the Super Bowl, wouldn't it?
That should make international news.
At that point, it damn well should. So you're still gonna go for Green Bay in your New Orleans Green Bay game?
Yeah.
All right. And that would make our Super Bowls Tampa Bay against Kansas City, the Red on Red Bowl, and your Super Bowl Kansas City against Green Bay, the two #1 seeds battling it out.
Pretty good game.
That'll be a very good game. I think both games of those would be very good.
It'd be the old quarterback versus new young quarterback.
Yeah, in both of them. Because Rodgers ain't no spring chicken no more.
Well, that's what I mean. Is Rodgers is gonna be the old guy.
And Brady.
Oh yeah.
But I think, you know what we should do? I think we don't predict anything Super Bowl right now. We wait to do a Super Bowl predictions video until the actual Super Bowl. You know, we can get more.
That's a good idea.
We can get Kevin in here. We can get Mike in here. We can get Andy back. We'll get everyone in here for the Super Bowl predictions.
See what happens.
But overall, I think this has been it's been an excellent time. You and I hanging out, sort of reflecting on the 2020 season, how weird and crazy it's been, and sort of somewhat enjoyable, not so much enjoyable at times. How this is certainly going to be a once-in-a-lifetime season, I'll tell you that much. Because I know once the vaccine's starting to roll out, there's going to be people showing up at the games next year. Like, there'll probably be preseason games now that the vaccine will be more easily accessible, I feel.
Dog Pound will be back.
The Dog Pound will be back in full swing. So will the Lion's Den. All 3 people will be there.
I think this year the Browns increased theirs from 4 to about 8.
Yeah, there you go. That's a step up, and the Lions have decreased theirs from 5 to 2.
And it's you and Andy.
Basically, that's about it. But I'm excited for the play. I'm actually very excited to watch the playoffs this year. I know for the past couple of years I haven't really been too into it, but there's just something different about this year's that's just making me real excited to watch. So
Maybe it's because like some of the underdog teams are finally filling out their roles.
Right. There's different teams in the playoffs. It's making everything all different, all exciting, all fun.
Never know what's gonna happen.
Fun football again. I feel like it's been a while since we've had that.
Yeah, been a while since we had fun football. That's true.
Especially in Cleveland.
Oh yeah. I mean, I personally have only been following the Browns for the past 5 years.
Well,
I
know you are young.
Spiritual Browns follower because I live in Ohio.
So you have to legally required to be.
Yeah. Or it has to either be the Browns or Cincinnati. It's either one. You gotta choose. But I think that I forgot what I was talking about.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. Either way, I think that's gonna kind of wrap up our time here today on episode 2 of the Unoriginal Discussions podcast, covering the NFL playoffs today, giving our thoughts, feelings, hopes, wants, needs, desires of the NFL playoffs. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart today for listening. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. I love you. I want you. I need you.
I want to be inside you.
I need you to listen to this podcast again. Tell a friend about it. Tell a friend like, hey, I listened to these idiots talk about football, and they predicted half their games wrong when the playoffs happened. They didn't get a single prediction right. Like, they thought the Chiefs were going to win. Man, the Dolphins came back from the dead, and they won the Super Bowl. Like, what? How are they going to know, these morons?
Somehow the Jets made it back into the playoffs.
Tell your friends. Tell your mama, your daddy, your waiter, your butler, your taxi driver. Tell everybody about it. I want to spread the love. I want to get everybody listening on this. Like it on wherever you're listening to the podcast at. Comment on it if you're listening on YouTube. Give it 5 stars. Give us a thumbs up. Give us all the ratings, baby. Have a good one. Have a good day. Blow us up. Not literally though. That would kind of suck for me. I'm pretty young. I got a lot of life ahead of me.
I'm younger, but you can do it.
We'll catch you all in the next one, baby. I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about. I'm not sure who's going to be there. I want you listening every second of the way. I'm drawing this out way too long.
Yeah, you are.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Enjoy the playoffs. Have fun with it. I know we will. We'll see you in the next one. For Blast, for Andy, I'm Danny. Follow me on Twitter at DannySnook60. Subscribe to me on YouTube at DJ Snook, AO Jackal, DJ Snook, Danny. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye! And we'll give Kevin some dead room so he can end it there. And then once the circle stops, I will cut the podcast, or cut the stream.
That's fun. I like it.
Do.